Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's training by Day Trade Like a Pro. My name is David. Some of you who are in our community know me as DB in the Discord community. For those of you that are new to Day Trade Like a Pro, welcome. We're very happy to have you here today and are really excited about the training that we have set up for you. A little background on the training here. Ephraim, who's going to be leading the training today, who's the founder of Day Trade Like a Pro, head trader, designs all of the tools behind this and everything else. We were talking about what's the best way for us to support traders that are struggling to get consistently profitable. And for those of you that have been with us for some time, you know we always stand in our commitment to produce consistently profitable traders in whatever way we can, and providing the best tools, coaching, support that we can. And as we were talking about this and looking at the markets and how volatile they've been, we kept coming back to the box. And the box is a tool that's been around for some time, and it's not a black box tool. There's some approach and strategy to maximize the utility of the box, and we wanted to provide some training for a lot of our users, especially our Pro Suite users who have the box and have been using the tool on a daily basis, but also make sure that everyone in our community is aware of this tool, because it's one of the greatest tools out there to get into a trade, especially in volatile markets. And what we're going to be walking you through today is some advanced strategies to maximize your trading using this tool in combination with prediction points. And you're going to see that it's not just because it says buy, you don't click buy. There's some thought and there's some strategy that goes into it, but we're going to be breaking all that down. So if you're here, you're going to want to put your phones away, you're going to want to put your distractions away, and you're really going to want to focus on this. We're committed that you get something out of this training. If you don't use the box, I think you're going to learn a tremendous amount just on trade management and how that can improve your trading on a daily basis. And so welcome. We're excited for this. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Ephraim to go through today's training.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's just real quick get a mic check. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. So just let me know that you can hear me fine there.
Looks like you're good.
All right,
you see
great.
the questions, Ephraim?
Yeah, I always get, you know, I'm always, I tend to get distracted with the questions, so I have them minimized. So,
all right, no problem. I'll keep an eye on those.
Yeah, so if you'll monitor that. Okay, well, great. Yep. It's really great to be here with everybody. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to be here. I'm committed that the time that we have together, and we'll wrap up right at the latest, we'll be done here by 5 o'clock Pacific time. So we don't have a ton of time together, and I'm really committed that the time that we do have will make a difference for you, whether you use the box or you don't. The principles that we're going to talk about are applicable across a number of different trading strategies that you deploy. So I think I have the right screen up here. You can see the slides here, I think. Is that working properly? Is that, you can see that, David? Yes. I'm guessing.
Yep.
We're all good there?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, great.
We're good.
So here's what we're going to cover today. You're going to get an in-depth look at trades using the box, and I've been showing this in some of the videos that we put out lately. We're going to talk about trade management techniques, because I think that when it comes to any strategy, and particularly the box, I think that it's, you know, this is one of the most important things. I would say this is the difference between a trader who makes money and one who doesn't. So, and then we're going to talk about strategies to maximize profits on winning trades. And you want to know that maximizing profits on winning trades generally means taking more risk. Okay, it's not like you don't just get more profits with no risk. It just doesn't usually work that way. So you have to understand the trade-off and understand that there is an increased risk on some of the things that we're going to talk about. but it can really maximize your profits in certain ways. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to give you the best offer, which shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, if you've seen any of the videos we put out over the last few days, this is an offer that we're running right now. And this shouldn't be a big surprise to you, but it's really the best offer we've ever made for the box. So why the box? It was really created specifically to capitalize on these volatile markets. So back in 2008, you had the financial markets went absolutely crazy. And Sean originally is the creator of the box, and I purchased all of the IP from him, and he is doing his own thing, trading. But he was in the, developing tools for traders and supporting traders for almost 2 decades. And he got to the point he just said, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to trade. And so I said, well, I'll step up and I'll do it. Mostly it was that prediction points were going to get sold to Goldman Sachs, I think, and I didn't want to let that happen. And so I stepped up and bought it. And I couldn't really picture trading without him. So let me say this: the box was really designed in 2008. There were these crazy swings, and I don't know if you were trading the market in 2008, but it was wild. And I traded during that time, and I was really ill prepared for what was coming. If you have been trading even in the last, let's say, 18 months, if you look back last year at the end of, or the beginning of the year, when all of the stuff started to hit with COVID, and we saw a tremendous amount of panic selling going on, and there was insane volatility. I remember on the S&P, it was like we were scalping. You were scalping buy side for like 40 or 50 points, and the trade would happen in 15 minutes. I mean, it was just really, really wild. And so the box is going to love those kinds of markets where there's big volatility and big swings. It's going to love that. But it doesn't mean it only works in those. I remember I was talking about it today. There was a day back in March of last year where it was like a Friday or something, I think, and it was the box on the S&P. There was on a 1,000 tick chart, which we'll look at today, gave you a signal to buy, and that trade ended up running. That one signal went 100 points before the end of the day, and it happened in like an hour or something. And so the box loves those kinds of markets. So if you think that we're in a time when the volatility might increase, or you think that maybe we're coming into a time where you might see some volatility come into the market and start to see, the box is built for those types of scenarios. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't use it on days like today, and you'll see how it did on days like today, but it doesn't mean you can't use it for that, okay? It just means that basically it's really meant for these really volatile markets. That's what it's really, really gonna shine and do its best. It's not the holy grail, and it's not going to fix all of your trading woes. If you are undisciplined and you can't follow rules, or you can't have a plan and stick to that plan, this won't fix that. Just doesn't. It doesn't do that. It does give you rules and a structure that you can follow, but if you're not disciplined enough to follow that, it's like no matter, well, maybe if you have a car, now there are cars that could keep you from like driving off the road, but we don't have that yet in trading. So for the most part, for most people, their car isn't going to keep them from driving off the road, no matter how great it is. And obviously there's technology that's advancing with that. I don't know if that's going to make its way into the trading world though. You're still probably going to have to be disciplined and be able to do it, be able to manage yourself. So you have to be competent at trade management. And that's really, if there's one thing that I could really drive home here during our time together, it's trade management, trade management, trade management. Get really good at it. It's really going to make a big difference in the results for you at the end of, I think for a lot of traders, it's the difference between being successful and not being successful. And we were talking about this earlier in one of our map trainings, and Kenny Rogers really got it right. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away and know when to run, okay? And if you can get those principles and understand that and apply that in how you're trading the box, I think you're going to like what you're going to see. So here's how it works. Really simple. A box appears on the screen, and we're going to go over and look at the charts and dive into some examples, and we'll do some stuff on the fly. So how it works, a box appears on the screen. When a candle closes above or below the box, you get a signal. If it closes above it, you get a signal to buy. If it closes below it, you get a signal to sell. It literally will pop up and say sell or buy. And the entry would be, you know, basically the way we would generally trade it would be a limit order, a resting limit order right there, either at the bottom or the top of the box, or a tick above that. And there's some more advanced strategies, so we'll get into that. So the current version has a setting to display profit targets, but we're going to discuss something a little bit different than that today. And because you're waiting for it to close above or below the box, it tends to be better on non-time based charts. Now, you don't have to wait for it to close, but that is how it was built. So I like it on tick charts. I'm going to show you a few examples. And obviously you can adjust different range charts depending on how the day is. So I'm going to show you how this is. And here's a few rules. So if you can obviously see that we're in a trading range that's too small for taking profit, don't trade. The box isn't built for that. That's not what it's for. This is not a tool to scalp inside of a tiny range. That's not what it was built for. Do not enter a position that's right by a CP. That stands for critical price. And that critical price is a prediction point. And I'm not going to give you, due to the time that we have together, I'm not going to give you a class on prediction points. But prediction points are a proprietary algorithm that we developed back in 2007 and have you know, continued to master and recreate. And basically, you don't want to be entering a position that's right. You don't want to be going long right up by a critical price, or going short just right in front of it. So we're going to talk about that. You're going to see several examples of that today and what you want to avoid. And then you want to look around previous swings around the box that you're trading. So we're going to get into that. And then the risk is on the other side of the box. So if I'm selling at the bottom of the box, my risk is really above the top of the box. Generally, you want to see a close above the top of the box. So the risk is really a reversal trade. So it would be, if I'm short, getting stopped out would look like a reversal into a long position. And then for our purposes of what we're going to talk about here tonight, the profit target is going to just be one time, whatever. So whatever the size of the box is, 3 points, your profit target's going to be 3 points. Now, as you get better, you can always hold some runners for a bigger move if we're in that kind of a market. But I want to just stress that one of the things that I talk about with traders, you know, if you're the kind of trader, if you're making $5,000 or $10,000 a day, you're probably wasting your time being here right now. But if you're looking for something that can add an edge to what you're doing, or something that you could use to help you get consistently profitable, I really like the box. And I think that the box paired with prediction points is really I mean, I don't have anything else that I would offer you. Of all the different tools and everything that we have, I don't have anything else that I would say this is something that is, you know, easy to follow, makes sense, and that somebody could really, you know, I've taught my 9-year-old how to use this. So I don't think it's super complicated. So here's that part. Let's go jump over and look at the charts. So everyone should see a chart now. We should all be looking at my chart. So this is a 1,000 tick chart on the S&P. Mine look weird. They're blue and yellow, and that's from work that I've done with Denise Scholl, who wrote Market Mind Games, and some of the research around what kind of emotions different colors sort of evoke. So let me just show you a couple of things here. Actually, we won't do it there. We'll just jump over and look at this chart. So right now you can see this might be a little bit tricky to see. We could make that a little bit, let's see, right there. So we can make this, increase this a little bit. So right here is where the box forms. And then you can see there's a buy signal when it closes above it, and there's a sell signal when it closes below it. So some of the other settings, there's a lot of customizable things, and there's some other settings that can be done. So one of those is you can have it color the candles whatever you like. So blue if the last signal was a buy, red if it was a sell. You can change all of that. It could be yellow when it trades inside of there. And then this one, this is a much smaller time frame. It's actually a smaller tick chart. But the point is, I just want you to see this. So it'll mark the middle of the box and then give you these profit targets that extend out here. You're going to see I don't have that on the charts we're primarily going to be looking at, because I'm going to show you a different way to do it. So basically, we're going to just dive right into it, because I talked about, we talked about some of the rules. So I'm going to dive right into it. And this is not really, the point of what I want to show you here is not really about saying, well, look how good the box is, or look how well it does that, or whatever. What I want to show you are some of the basic principles that I use in the way that I'm trading the box. Now, I trade a lot of different ways. So I run a service here that we have called MAP, Market Accelerated Planning. We just wrapped up a 4-week, really in-depth training of how to trade what we map out in the market like a pro, and professional trading techniques. We talked about sizing and when to size up and when to size down. So I'm trading a lot of different ways. And one of the things that I've gotten really good at over the years is knowing when to really size up and get aggressive in the right spots. And so I've gotten really good at that. I can probably get a whole lot better at it, but I've really personally gotten very good at that. Where I have not excelled is in scalping. And so one of the things that I took on for me just personally was I wanted to get a lot better at scalping. And I had somebody today in the MAP training, I was talking a little bit about the box, and they said, do you actually ever trade the box? And I said, yeah, I literally use it every day. This is a chart. I mean, the screen you're looking at, you can see down here, I have all these different charts of the box on here. And I literally flip through these and look at them every day, and I use the box literally every day. I use it. So yes, what I'm really focused on right now is scalping the same kind of opportunities that I'm going to show you here right now. I still have what I'm doing that would be kind of longer term. I'd call them intraday swing trades. I'm generally going to try and get in at the top or the bottom of the market and try and hold that for most of the day or for a really significant move. And those opportunities come up, I'd say 3 to 7 times a week. And so then there's plenty of different opportunities for scalping. So I'm going to show you some things right here. So before I jump into it too far, David, are there any questions or anything that we want to pause and answer or say anything about?
No, not yet. I think.
Okay, great. So a couple of things here. So here's this box. So this is yesterday. I thought we'd look through yesterday, and we'll get through yesterday and we'll go up to today. So what you can see right here, these white dotted lines, these are prediction points. Okay. Because they're white on my chart, that means they're key prices. And that's a KP, that's what we call it for short. Some of you are really prediction point veterans, and you're like, is he really going to explain prediction points right now? So I'm not. If you don't know about prediction points, we've been offering a free trial. We have a tremendous amount of value in tons of training in the members area that you can go watch, and we break it all down. And so this is not a training on prediction points. This is how to use the box in conjunction with prediction points. So here's this box forms right here. And the box does not take into account this right over here. So I have eyes, and I can see that that's probably going to be something that we want to take out if we're going to move higher. So if we're going to move up higher, I want to see. So in my mind, I'm sort of, now you could say, well, why not here and here and here? Well, you could do all of that, but I mean, part of it just comes from, I think, time and experience of watching the market. But let's say for sure, if we can't trade up above there, you know, that's probably not something we want to be, you know, we don't want to be taking this. So for me, I want to just kind of extend this box right up above right there. And what happened is it did go right there. Now, let's do this. I want to show you something just so you can see that I'm not going, well, that's a random swing to pick out, or, you know, why would you pick that out of everything? By the way, if you watched yesterday's pre-market video, you knew 4210 because I told you that in the pre-market before it happened. And we also talked about it in the review video after that. But so what, I mean, this was something that we were looking at, you know, before it went up and hit there. So this is not hindsight. So I just want to show you right here. This is from MAP. So we would need to get above 4210. All right. That's, I just want to point out, this is, oh, and the time yesterday, 6:08 a.m. Pacific time. So that's way before this came up here and hit over here. So that was at 6:08. This is like 25 or 26 or 27 minutes later. It came up and hit right here. So you want to extend that up to there. Now, could you say up to here? Yes, you could do all of that, but now you start getting, the box starts getting so big. And if you start getting too carried away with it, I mean, I'm kind of just looking at like the kind of the more recent swings. So if I could, I would say something like on the other side of it, it would be like this one. Can you see that right there? And then that one. It's kind of like just the more recent swings right around the box. Now you could go, well, why not go down there? Well, you could do that. You'll just never take a trade. The box will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm just kind of looking at right in this immediate area. And so what I see is that this is not a buy signal I would take. But let me tell you what I actually did on this day. And I think David did the same thing because I was messaging him about it because I've been talking about this. Do you happen to see where the bottom of this box is right here? It's literally at the KP. So that means if I could get in here, like the KP is 0.425, and if I could get in, let's just say 2 ticks above that at 0.475, my risk is technically a tick below here. And if it closed below here, so I can realistically probably do this trade with a point of risk. I can get in right here with a point of risk. Now I'm just scalping for right now. There's so many settings. We're looking at a 1,000 tick chart. You could do this. I've had this on different charts where you're doing, you know, swing trades that last days or weeks. So there's so many different things, and we could go find really short time frames where you just want to scalp a tick or 2 or 3. There's all kinds of different applications for it. So I'm just showing you one of those. So all I need to do right here is if I get in long right here, I have a point of risk. And if I got out in front of here, that's at 0.9. And if I got in here, I have 5 points on a trade right here. So I can get in on a buy right here, and I can cover it right here without it ever breaking up above the top of this box for 5 points. Sorry, 4 points from where I'm entering, 4.25 points, but let's just call it 4 points. And my risk is 1 point. So it's 4 to 1. I can risk 1 point for potentially 4 points of return. Now that's a little bit riskier, it's a little bit more aggressive, but it's literally right here at the KP. I really like it. You know, it makes, to me, it makes it make a lot more sense than waiting to buy it way up here. So I bought this here. I didn't trade it up here. I didn't trade it when it came back here, although you could have argued that. But if you bought this, let me talk again. I'm going to I hope that by the end of today, you're tired of hearing me talk about trade management. And then I hope you go back and listen to the webinar again. So if you bought it here and it goes up here like this, let me stress one of the main principles of the box. This thing is designed to capture moves when the market is volatile. So it's really a tool that you want to use to trade momentum. That's really what it's meant for. There's a lot of applications for it, but at its core, it's really developed to play momentum plays. If you're trading it in here, and so why would I not, let me just say here, why would I not short here? Well, this is like up in the middle of nowhere. It's against nothing. Why would I short it there? Now, if there's a CP up here or a KP up here or something like that, fine, I could short it there. But overall, I don't want to try and trade that way. This is relatively aggressive, but I figure I'm taking a point of risk. I've got 4 to 1 on it. To me, it makes a lot of sense. So on a trade like this, if it goes from here, this is 0.4 quarter, and it went up 3 1/4 points. If it doesn't run and keep running, so if you bought this and it doesn't keep running, there's no reason to keep it other than you think it's going to come back and keep running and then you're going to miss it. But there's no really valid reason as far as from a standpoint of how the box works, and especially on something like this where we're scalping it. It came back about halfway to the box to the midpoint or so, and that was it. It just died out. There's no reason to keep it. I don't like these kinds of trades at all where I'm trading. I mean, it uses prediction point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just don't like it. So maybe I could argue for it. You know, I could take it here. I could argue for taking it here. I can't make an argument for buying it here. And even if you did buy it here, same thing. Didn't go anywhere. Came here, came back, take it off. Okay. So now let's look at this right here. So you get this signal right here. So this is a sell signal based on the close of this candle. And notice that it closes below this red line that we have drawn in, which is this other swing. So really good sign. And then where's the bottom of the box? Right there, right along the KP. So this is to me, this is a great trade. I really like the way this whole thing comes together. So I want to be selling here. And I just have my fib extension tool customized to just do, it draws several up and down, but this is just one time whatever the size of the box is. So this just takes the box and brings it down here. So my target would be down here, 99.50 would be 1 to 1. So that means I can sell at 0.4 quarter and my target is down here at 99.50. So I pick up about 5 points, 4.75. And then obviously, you know, you're using prediction points. So I don't want to get too far, you know, I don't want to get too crazy with it or try and get too fancy, but I did promise that I would teach some of the advanced things that I'm doing that I think make sense for traders to do. If you have these prediction points and you think it's going to come back down to here, or, you know, there's this prediction point right here, trade it here. You know, you get in short here, ride it down to this one. So the box gives you the signal. It confirms here with the prediction point in the bottom of the box, and there's 0.4 and it drops down here to 90, let's just call it 96. Okay, so there's a pretty nice move down there, 8 points on that. A bit advanced and a bit aggressive, but here's something you could do. So if you took profit right here at the KP and it came back up to the KP, you could short it again. You're still in a sell signal from the box. You could short it again for that move down to the prediction point. Not sure how many times I would do that, but you know, that's valid. Okay, so on that example, so I'm going to just pause there for a minute, and I'm going to do this throughout the whole webinar because I want to make sure that if people have questions, we're answering them. So on that particular scenario that I just walked through, any questions or anything we want to go over about that?
So I think just a couple of clarifications. So the box that appears there will have multiple signals that will appear post that box. The box, the width of the box is, there's nothing to it. It's just the size of the box so that it shows up. You can have a, yeah, you can, the height of the box matters, but the width of the box is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Now, until another box appears, and these are settings that you can set, you will not, you'll continue to get new signals, whether buys or sells, and the specific criteria for showing a signal is that the candle closes above or below the box that's there. I think that hopefully that clarifies a little bit for some of the questions.
And right here, you can set this to max trades per box, which will mean how many signals will it give you. So you could set that to 2, and that would be it. You could set it to 100, and if it goes back and forth 100 times, you get 100 signals.
Yeah.
And then here's this, which allow requalifier, and I'll go over that in a second. But basically, this max trades per box, that's what you, that's how you can set the setting of how many signals will it allow per box.
And there is actually on our website there is some detailed training on all of the parameters and what they mean, etc. We actually recommend that you stick with what is the baseline there until you can master that, and then you can start tweaking it to, you know, maybe suit your trading differently after that.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I had forgotten actually that we put all of the members training on the website. You can literally just go watch it all. It's it was what we did for people who bought the box. It's just literally all available on the website. So,
and Ephraim, just a question. So because I traded this exactly as well, and I did not take that buy at above
over here.
when it didn't get above 42.10. I did not take that. For me, what I was looking at, just to help out for everyone, was if it got above the swing to the left, all the way to the left there, I then would have took that, because then I'm saying, okay, it's a buy is a valid signal to me. And that's, to me, reading the trade management. For the sell, that's at 6:45 a.m., I took that one because I was looking at that exact swing low. As soon as that swing low broke, I put my limit order right at the bottom of the box and took that for, I think, 5-6 points, something like that. So
yeah,
that
and
was
I
my
think
specific thought on it.
the important thing about what you're saying, I think, David, is that it's that you had a plan and then you stuck to that plan.
Exactly.
It really doesn't matter if you said, I did take the buy when it gave me the buy signal. Great, was that your plan? You know, I mean, I would argue that like 10 out of 10 times, I would argue not to take that if it doesn't close above that. You know, I mean, above this swing right there, I would argue that. But if that was your plan, I'd say great. I think you could make a better plan, but if that was your plan and you traded that plan, that's the real important thing here of what really matters, I think. So my plan was if it broke above here, I was going to be buying a pullback, and it didn't. So that's why I didn't buy it here. So to that same point of that, what you said, it didn't break out up above here. I knew that I traded this, and then I said, if it breaks above here, I'll buy a pullback into the box. It never broke above here. So I didn't buy the pullback over here. This could have worked out, and it could have ripped 20 points, and I would have missed it. That's great. I would have finished the day, and I would have said, what a phenomenal day. I had a great day. I followed my plan. So yeah, really good point. Anything else that we want to cover or clarify?
There's a question, is there any priority, or as time moves away from the box, on the validity of the box? How do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't have a hard and fast rule, but I mean, like, look, see, we'll talk about this in a minute because we get those kinds of things like this. Yeah, I mean, let's say this didn't ever happen over here. Yeah, I'm not really trading what's happening over here based on what happened over here. It's a momentum trade. It's not to say that it's not, well, today will be a good example of that. It's not to say that it couldn't be perfectly valid, but it's just, it's a momentum trade. And if this happened over here and then 5 hours later, I'm trying to trade it over here. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me of, you know, what I'm trying to accomplish and what the box is actually built for. So I
Yeah, the
really
box
want
is
to, I mean,
not the
this
box
is
is not for reversal trading. It's more momentum trading.
definitely. And look, you'll see like on a day like yesterday, I mean, I think it does a great job a number of days. I mean, it basically caught the top of the market over here, more or less, not the very, very top, but relatively close on the short right here. So it was like, yeah, something like 8 points off of the top. So not terrible. And then if you see what happened, this thing ends up dropping, and look what happens. You get a box. So this is a great thing, something that I wanted to talk about as an example. You get this box, and look how far away the price is. So the way I'm going to enter this is I'm going to have a limit order. Once I get this buy signal, I'm going to have a limit order right here. But on a box like this, I'm not even going to trade it. Like, I'm going to ignore this box altogether. It's just too far away from anything that's happening to really be useful. So when these happen, I just, for the most part, I'd say 90-something% of the time, I probably just ignore them. So I'm not going to take any of these signals. I'll wait for the next one. I'll wait for the next box. So boxes like this, I'm not saying that should be your rule. I'm not saying it's a really hard and fast rule, but for the most part, I'm not trading something like this because it's moved away. It comes back here. Just no momentum. I mean, I'm looking for momentum. Is there momentum? And it has to come all the way back down to here just to hit the box. I'm not trading it. It doesn't fit the criteria of what I'm really looking for and what I want to do.
And
So
there's
to
that
me,
KP right above that box too. Even if you did take a limit, you don't really have a lot of room.
yeah, and then, yeah, exactly. So you could argue, you could say, well, what if I got long up here? What if I extend the box up to there? And then it's like, okay, fine. It's still like you got the signal over here. I mean, it's just, you know, it's not in any way it's not ideal, you know, in any way. And even if you did take it right here, by the way, if you did take it here, it went from 95 up to 96.50. I mean, why would you hold on to a trade that, I mean, this is already not, you can see for yourself after you watch this for a while, these are not generally good signals. I generally just am going to ignore this box. So that being said, why would I get really aggressive about taking something over here and then it works a little bit and it comes back? Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm not keeping it. Not a trade I'm doing. So, and that being said, to the point of what you said earlier, look, I mean, I'm really just ignoring this box altogether. And I'll show you something else as well here. But so none of these, I'm really not paying attention to any of these. I don't like any of these signals over here. So I didn't have this pulled up, but let me show you. This was yesterday. So we're looking at yesterday. This is, I got to add more days here. This is a 2000 tick chart. So it's just double the 1000. And let me show you what happened on this yesterday. Is this what we're looking at? No, where are we? Too far back. So we're in, was that this? No, that's today. There we go. That's this one, I think. This one. So we had, okay, so right here we have this, this box. This one starts at 718. And if you come over here, that's at 745. So on the 2000 tick chart, it's, you know, we already have this box over here at 718. And then way over here at like 745, we get another box on the 1000 tick chart, which wasn't even good. So I was actually messaging with David yesterday, and I just said, I'm ignoring the box on the 1000 tick chart, and I'm using this one over here on the 2000 tick chart. But you know, so, and these are not the right day's prediction points. These are today's prediction points. So there was not a CP right there. So we just sort of ignored that, we just wanted to ignore that one on the 1000 tick chart because I'm going back and forth between these. I'm going 2000 tick chart. This is giving me a sell signal. Why would I be trading against that over here with this terrible box over here? So I'm just ignoring this box over here. And what you can see is that this gives you a sell. There's a great opportunity in here to get it in here. Really nice move down. Another. So what's a requalifier? It's this. It's where you get the signal and then it comes back in here and you get these yellow candles and then you get another signal. That's a requalifier. And then another signal and a requalifier. So if I do this, you'll see the market has this interesting, right there. Let me just throw that in there. So this is that's the midpoint of the box, more or less. And notice how it tends to come back there to the middle of the box consistently. It's kind of interesting. So that's a whole other type of trade. When Sean developed this and created the trading, he called it the RTM, which was, basically a return to the median, the middle of the box, and that was the trade. And what's great about those is that you get less risk. So for example, if I have a trade here, and then I can get well, let's do that the other way. So if I get in here, and if I get in at the middle of the box right there, now it brings my profit target up to here, or I can keep my profit target where it was, and I increase my, now my risk is better than 1-to-1. So it gets better if I go that way. Anyway, so if I go back over here, so 1000 tick chart, I'm ignoring this because, I basically said I don't want to trade the, I don't want to trade that unless it is basically, let me show you this. Yeah, right here. So make sure I didn't say anything that I can't show you. So right here, I said, so this is yesterday at 8:11. I said I'm using the 2000 tick chart. There's a sell signal, so the 1000 chart box is meaningless right now until we either get where I think is low enough or the 2000 chart changes. I'm not using the 1000 tick chart boxes. Okay, so that was a message that I had with David back and forth. And then what happened? That was at 8:11, so that's like wherever, somewhere around here. And then what happened was we had the CP down here at 84.50. It spiked down to 82.50. We said in map, okay, that's probably good enough, for right now. We can go back up higher again. We'll see if they come back later. So what happens? You get a box, you get a buy signal. This is the buy signal. There's an entry right there. And then I love these trades because there's a CP right here. And so this is my 1-to-1 risk to reward. But now I buy it here. It doesn't quite get there. I could take it off at break even, and now I can buy it back cheaper. Let's say I just buy it back in the middle, and I have this CP down here holding things up as well as support. So if I just buy it back here in the middle at 86, I add 1.5 points to the trade now, and there it runs 1.5 points. And that's just 1-to-1. So if you can get good at doing that, at scalping 1 and then 1, and doing it that way, you can start holding some for some of these runners to some of these bigger targets. There's a KP up here. You could get long here at 86 and target 96. That's 10 points. But I'm not trying to get fancy with it. I'm just I'm operating under the impression that you're trying to get consistently profitable. And I'm telling you, if you can get, Friday, it was like following the rules that we're outlining. It was like not anything fancy, not even trading inside the box or anything. Just buy at the top or sell at the bottom. 1-to-1 risk to reward. Friday, it's like 9 to 10 or 9 out of 10, 90% win rate. It's like 100% on Monday. I think Tuesday it was like 4 out of 5, and the one that didn't win was a break-even trade. So so this was yesterday, and then you had this short, and this is where you got to have some discretion and figure out what are you going to do. So look at the entry. If you enter right here at the bottom, your target 1-to-1 is just 2 ticks on the other side of the CP. So what do? Well, I think you would take a trade like this, and let me make my argument for why is because if you're short here and it comes all the way down to here and doesn't get you that last 2 ticks, you could always just take it off at break even or close it if it gets down here. So there's enough room. Now, if my box signals like right here and there's like a point of room to the CP, no, you'd be crazy, I think. I wouldn't take that. You know, I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't want to trade right in front of that. When this one came back up here, this was the one that I actually really liked. So when it came back here, and there's the bottom of the box right there, and it came back through the box, and then this was the one that I really liked for that move down. So here's a good example. Useless box for me. I'm not going to use this. I'm just going to ignore it. Same type of scenario that we saw over wherever, right here. Just not going to use that box, okay? It's pretty much going to be worthless to me. So if you go right here and you say right there, well, look, if I got a signal here to sell at 85.25, I mean, my CP is 2 ticks away, 3 ticks away. Well, you know, I have no time to react. So if it hits the CP and rips, which look what happens right here. If it hits the CP and rips, I have no time to react, basically. No room to react. So I'm not trading this. I'm not trading off of this box. So this box to me, I'm ignoring it. It's nothing for me to do. So these signals, nothing. So, okay, I've got nothing going on over here. I'm going to go over and I'm going to go look at the 2000 tick chart and see what happens. Nothing. There's nothing going on over here. There's this short signal. And so I can be looking for shorts. This starts at 1040 to 1104, well, at 1040, and from 95.25 down to 86. So let's just go, so that's way back over here. Oh yeah, so these had formed at the same time, kind of, except that one was much lower. So if you want, you can use something like this and you can keep shorting and scalping for lower. And you know, that's, you could do that. That would be one way of doing it. But over here, I'm looking at, okay, this is useless to me. I'm not gonna trade off of this. So there's that. Okay. So I want to jump over and I want to look at today, and you can see, look, I mean, again, I'm not trying to have this look to you like, wow, this is going to have 100% win rate and I'm going to make 9,000 points a day. That's not really the point of it. But if you're not booking 2 or 3 points a day consistently, and you're not at that point of that you can at least be consistently profitable at 2, 3, 4 points a day, I wouldn't worry about making 9,000 points, 10 points, 15 points, 20 points. Just get where you're making 2, 3, 4 points a day and do that consistently. And I think that the box is pretty good, a pretty good tool to help traders get to that. So here is today. Let's look at this. So this is overnight. I'm not awake at 1:30 in the morning generally. But you know, either way, you can see, I mean, this should not be anything other than a break-even trade, worst case scenario. There's plenty of time to do anything in here. It was like 4 hours. So I wouldn't really be trading that. There's no signal here because it's too close to the CP. There's no room, so there's no valid short there. You can make an argument for shorting here when it came back up after the open, but it didn't get back up to here. So again, I'm just not trying to get fancy with it. And I think one of the things that a lot of traders get used to, and I mean, I use the term traders kind of loosely, and I don't mean that in a mean way, I just mean a lot of people go like, well, I can make millions of dollars and not really do anything to earn it. Yeah, it doesn't really work that way. This is probably one of the hardest things in the world you can do to make money. So no, it doesn't really work like that. So this comes up here, you know, I mean, yeah, maybe there's just nothing here. There's no trade. So there's no short, it's not valid. It doesn't get high enough on a retest. Don't even know that you'd take a trade like that again. It drops down here. There's no buy signal here. It's right by the CP, so this isn't valid. this isn't valid. You could make the case for extending this up like this, and using the box like that, in which case this would be the buy signal right there, and then that touches right there. So I said I was going to teach you some advanced things. So these are applicable universally. It's not like I'm going through here and picking out, well, here's the best case scenario of what you could have done. This could have probed up here and then ripped back down. I have no idea. But it held down here. The bottom of this held. There was no close below there, so it didn't give you a sell signal. So this could be one of those where you try and buy down here. I think that would be really aggressive. I'm not sure I would recommend doing that. And then this one works. It does go to the target here. So you would have had, it's like 92.50 to, so not a huge trade, 3.25 points or something like that. Okay, on a 1-to-1. But again, get good at making 2 or 3 or 4 points a day. And if you do that for 3 months and you decide it's boring, then come back and we'll give you something more to do. Here's another signal if you want it. I mean, you could have taken that above at the CP. This is why I think prediction points and the box work so well together, because you have the CP here. You wouldn't want to take this, but closing above it, okay, it's pretty close. It's only 2 ticks. So just give this 2 more ticks and extend the box up to there. There you go. This is a requalifier. Doesn't really go anywhere. You just take it off at break even. This comes back down lower into the box. You can take this if you want. I didn't count any of these as I was going through and looking at how it performed today. And then we start getting into that scenario of like, well, how far away, because, can it get from the box before this starts to, so that would be 1-to-1 down to there. So you need to get back to 86 down there. So here's your sell signal right there. It came back up here, doesn't get there. Take this off at break even. Don't turn it into a loser. This isn't a valid buy because you need to move the box up to the CP. It doesn't close until here. Comes back over to here. And look, we're literally on our 4th signal of the box. And so you have to keep that in mind. So here gives you a buy opportunity. It goes 2 points and comes back. I mean, it came back and then went and then came back. I mean, don't turn that into a loser. That's like the #1 rule that I could tell you. Don't turn that into a loser. If you manage your trades to take your profits on the ones that work and not turn the ones that don't work into losers, which you can avoid doing most of the time on something like this, that's really all it takes. So, all right, so no buy here, but you could buy it over here. And then if you sell, where's the bottom of this? And then we're going to move on from this, and I want to show you a couple of other things real quick. So if you sell this right here, it came back up into here. And, I mean, this is just, look, that's not a trading range at all, is it? You remember what I said? Literally the top rule that I put in there. Don't trade in a tight trading range. This is a tight trading range. Don't do it. So you have to look at this. So even if you did go short here, okay, that turns into a losing trade. You could go long over here, which ends up coming back up to here. You break even. I don't know why you'd go short here again. But if you went short here again, it came back. It gave you plenty of opportunity to get out of it at break even. Came back up here, gave you a buy. This is one of what I would say is an ugly day on the box, or an ugly part of it. And even in all of this, there's one losing trade. So, on a day like today, you're maybe up a couple of points or flat. There's certainly days where it takes losses. So let me show you a couple of things. This is a NASDAQ. This is a 300 tick chart. It's nothing fancy. This is what today looked like. So this short, this buy, this was a fake out, didn't work. Turned around. This one ran up here. There's a sell signal. That one runs down here. There's a buy signal. That moves up to here. This buy doesn't really work out. Comes down here. There's a sell signal. There's a re-entry into it right here. Here's another sell signal. That one runs. You can see that one works. And then it does this choppy thing going into the end of the day. By the way, you know, each time we have something like this. So I look back here and I go, oh, there's the bottom of this box. It trades right back up into there. That doesn't work, right? So I'm looking at those kinds of things. Never closed below this swing right here. So I don't like this. This is really close to the CP. This CP is right here. So there's just a lot of stuff going on in here. Anyway, again, the point is not to try and make it look super good, but just to have you, I wouldn't trade in here with these two CPs. This is a YM chart. It's 100. This is just, these are not like, wow, the best settings or something. It's a 233 tick chart. You got to have some, you know, you got to kind of know what you're doing if you're going to use something like this. This is a Russell chart. It's a 133 tick chart. You can see what today looked like. You had, you know, this kind of choppiness in here. This was at the open. You had this right here. So you had a sell, you had a buy. Again, don't really like this box, but then you had a sell here. If you took that, it ran up to here. Gave you a sell, but it didn't get below, you know, I mean, it never got back below the sell signal bar, so don't really love that. And plenty of opportunities to take it off at break even if it came back there. This would have been break even. It was up here for 3 hours or something. And then this one, opportunity to get off at break even. You know, I mean, like, you just have to go, okay, my risk is up above here. It came up to there, came back down. I can get out at break even. It's like they're letting you off the bus. Get off the bus. If you don't know where it's going, get off. And then here's your buy. It comes back, gives you a nice entry, and then ran up from there. Here's a sell signal that works, a buy signal that works, buy signal that doesn't work. You can take this off at break even. Sell signal, not sure if that gets the target. Take it off at break even. Ignore this. It's in Globex and it's going off of this box. Oh, last thing, I'll show you one other thing. This is crude oil. This is a 500 tick chart on crude oil, and you can see what today looked like on crude oil. It's a little bit of a head fake, but didn't get below this swing right here, so I'm not sure you would really like that. And then this one doesn't take out this swing, so you definitely wouldn't want to be paying attention to this signal. You'd want to stay long or buy more until you took out this low right there. Runs up. New signal, there you go. You can see comes back down in here, another signal, and then here we are currently. So, okay, so there you have it. Okay, we're a minute over the time that I said we were going to be, so anyone who knows me knows that's not a big surprise. Okay, David, anything we want to cover before I tell them how they can use the box?
No, I think we've covered all the questions that have come up. So
great. And you guys know you can always, if you're in the Discord server with us, then you can shoot us a message there, ask the group. You can send us an email, support at daytradelikeapro. But really just trying to cover, I mean, look, it's really not, you know, that fancy. It's just basic trade management skills. And the box gives you a good opportunity to develop those. So here's what we're offering you. You can get lifetime access to the box. It's $24.97. By the way, I bought the box from Sean when he developed it. I bought it, I think it was 2012 I bought it. I paid $19.97, so $2,000, and that was in 2012. So 11 years later, the price hasn't gone up a whole lot. And you know, now I obviously own the IP and everything, but it's, you know, it's, I was a customer of the box before anything. So what we didn't talk about, AUTOBOX. AUTOBOX is basically the box, and you can set it to just put the trades on and take the trades off for you. So instead of you hesitating, should I take it or not take it, the AUTOBOX will just do it for you. It's not a black box system. It's just meant to aid you in the execution process. So 3 months of prediction points. And if you were to go sign up for all those things individually, which plenty of people do, you would pay $5,885. And these aren't some crazy random inflated prices or something that we came up with. That these are actually the prices that are on the website that people pay all the time. So if you were to go buy all that individually, it's $58.85. So here's what we want to offer you. Get the box for life, $24.97. You pay one time, you have it for the rest of your life. We're going to give you the AUTOBOX for free for life, and you're going to get 3 months of prediction points for free. So it's over 55% off, and you pay $24.97. You get the box, AUTOBOX, both of those for life, any updates for them for life, and then the prediction points for the next 3 months. On Friday, if you traded a 2-lot on Friday on the S&P and you followed the rules that I outlined, it made $2,450 on Friday. On Monday, it was like 1,200 and something. Okay, so that's the offer. I don't know how to offer anything better. If that's not for you, that's okay. If it is for you, you're going to also get access to our Discord server, and I'm using the box every day basically. So if you have questions about it, you can post it and ask questions. We'll talk with you about it, and I'll teach you whatever I know about it. But it's really, I mean, that's what I know how to tell you about it. It's about as simple as it gets. So you can go sign up there. It's offers.daytradelikeapro.com/the box. David, I think you can put that in the
yeah, it's in the chat and the
right.
questions. There's an email that everyone will receive in a little bit that will have the link to sign up for everything. Just go there, click. Make sure you select the lifetime option, because that's the option where we're adding all this other stuff in for it.
Yeah, so you can get the box for a year for, it's like $1,500, but you won't get any bonuses. So if you buy it for life, then you'll get all the bonuses. If you buy it for a year, you'll just get the box for a year. Okay, so just make sure you select the lifetime option.
Yeah.
So with
that,
go ahead.
It's a great point that you bring up, that we use the box every day. So there's a number of training videos on it around the settings and everything else. We have a number of YouTube videos that have extra training on these things, and so there's a lot of support that goes into this box because it's such a fantastic tool.
Yeah, and if you have, you're using the box, you're in the Discord server, and you go, hey, what do you think about this box on this chart? And I'll go look at it if I'm around, which I'm generally around quite a bit. So, if you're using a 1,000 tick chart like I like to use, or a 2,000 tick chart on the S&P, and you go, what do you think about this box? And I'll say, well, this is how I would trade it, or this is what I think about it. So, there's a lot of the same kind of thing that you saw, like the conversation back and forth that David and I are having. We can do that in the public setting in Discord, with members using the box. So I think that's a big benefit to it, as well as, besides the box just being a phenomenal tool. And there are a number of traders that use the box and love it, but I think using it with prediction points really takes it to the next level.
Absolutely.
So. Okay, well, I really don't have anything else to say other than thank you for being here. I hope that it's been useful for you. And, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. If you go get signed up, we can get you activated pretty quickly. Give us give us a little bit of time to get that handled, but we can get your NinjaTrader ID activated, and, we can get you using the box pretty quickly. So. With that, thanks everyone for being here, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the Discord server and having some more conversations about how to use the box. So again, thanks for being here.
Thanks, everyone.